Hi friends, I have a really fun video for you guys today. I decided to film my style evolution video and how you can start yours. I've never seen anyone do this before. I've seen like roasting your old outfits. I kind of want to talk you guys through how I ended up finding my personal style and a lot of recent changes I've gone through to just be more content with not so much buying and consumption and flip-flopping aesthetics and just being me. Before we get into this video, this isn't a bra. It's a corset. I just thrifted it and you can only see the top and it really looks like a bra. Also, throughout this whole video, I have so many old pictures I'm gonna bring up, so get ready for some cringe. And with that, let's just get into it. Okay, so I kind of have all of these down as bullet points. They're not really from like a certain year or time frame. It's just kind of like when I was looking through old photos, it's how I would classify each era of Lainey. So I would say when I was younger, of course, my mom just dressed me. And that was that. I dressed pretty cute. My mom has a good sense of style. So up until probably like 4th grade, my mom was just dressing me and I always looked cute. Then like upper elementary school, middle school, I started dressing myself, of course. My mom still took me shopping though. I didn't have money, so she was the one who at the end of the day bought my clothes. I would just call this little insecure Lainey. She was wearing what everyone else was around her. I mean, I had a sense of what I thought I liked, but it was really just trying to blend into the crowd. And there's really nothing wrong with that at that age. I feel like I looked cute. I made some questionable choices, but I was just mimicking what my peers were wearing or like girls in the grades above me or maybe what I saw on TV, but even that was like too out of my comfort zone. I feel like when you're that little and depending where you grew up, I grew up in the Midwest in Michigan, like just in the suburbs, so fashion isn't really a big thing here. Nobody cares what you're wearing. Yoga pants, moccasins, yoga pants, Uggs, and a hoodie, a North Face was like my uniform, and that's that. I would say that me just copying what everyone else was wearing happened until about junior year of high school. I can remember this moment as a turning point in my fashion and it's so funny. I started to get a little bit more confidence just because I was a junior. I was one of the older kids in high school. I wasn't so worried about upperclassmen and standing out. I kind of knew my place. I knew where I belonged and I just had a little bit sense of confidence. And I feel like a big thing I realized when looking back and when people say like just be confident, it's not always like wearing lingerie out in public, wearing the shortest skirt, showing your body, showing your figure. Even if that might be the most flattering thing for you, sometimes confidence can be wearing a pair of tennis shoes. So I got a pair of Janoski skateboarding like Nike tennis shoes, and I remember I was really nervous to wear them to school. I think everybody at this time was wearing like Converse. No girls had Janoskis, and maybe a few boys did. But I went to the outlet store and Jackson, who's a sneakerhead, was like, get them, they're cool. So I got them because they were on sale and I was really nervous about wearing them. And I remember I wore them with like little white tube socks over my leggings. I'm not saying that this was like a fashion moment, and a flannel, and I felt really cute. I was covered, but for some reason I felt so cute and confident, and I got so much SHIT for wearing these shoes, mostly from boys. Like girls didn't really know what they were, but the boys just kept like coming up and being like, oh, you skateboard, or like saying dumb stuff to me. And I'm really bad at like having any attention on me, but for some reason I loved these shoes so much I didn't care and I just kept wearing them. When the next year came around, I don't want to say it like that and come across like that because I really did not have any pull in high school, but my friends still talk about this. The next year, a bunch of girls were wearing Janoski SBs or just like SB skateboarding shoes. I feel like that was the first dip into finding my true sense of style, my personal style. Would I wear Janoski skateboarding shoes now? I mean, maybe. They're pretty cute. I still think they're cute, but when I look back at that, it's like baby Lainey. I always think of that moment as kind of a big turning point for me, just doing what I liked, and people ended up liking it too, even if I got made fun of in the beginning. I'm sure so many of you guys have had that experience, whether it's like you're one of your first friends to wear like platform Doc Martens and you get made fun of. That happened to me too, and then everybody got platform Doc Martens. I was one of my first friends to start wearing dad sneakers and I got made fun of, and then those friends started wearing dad sneakers too. It's just kind of what happens if you are into fashion and you kind of like to be ahead of the crowd. I think my reason for this is just being so into YouTube and seeing what people are wearing already in New York and California, and by the time people start wearing it in Michigan, it's like we're a year behind. So I'm really not saying I'm ahead of any trends, it's just I was ahead for Michigan standards. But the Janoskis were something I never really saw any girl wearing. They were just something I loved. Now, I would say this kind of mentality really had another giant boom when Brandon and I started dating. If you guys didn't know, my boyfriend's name is Brandon. We've been dating for 6 years, so we started dating going into senior year of high school, and this is when, again, I took another jump or a leap and started dressing how I wanted to. It was just big baggy t-shirts, honestly, like mom baggy jeans instead of skinny jeans. And Brandon just made me feel really confident in wearing those types of things. Brandon used to be a lot more like fashionable than I was, and he used to dress me. And whenever he would dress me and pick out my clothes, a lot of times they were his. I felt so confident and so good. And again, that confidence doesn't have to be like looking pretty or like looking sexy or hot. Like, I was wearing the baggiest clothes, like no makeup, and I felt so good and so confident, and I felt like me. So I'd say I still wasn't really into fashion at this point, and then freshman and sophomore year of college were honestly a blur. I feel like freshman year I stuck with the same mentality of just baggy clothes, and then sophomore year I was like, oh, I should fit in a little more and try dressing like other girls did. And then junior year came around and I started having more of my own money from selling things on like Depop and thrifting, and just being able to buy my own kind of clothes that I like. I was really starting to see my own personal style. I would say it started to become a balance of this more feminine, like figure flattering pieces, and then the really baggy clothes that I liked. When I look back at my like senior year, end of junior year, beginning of senior year style, I have so many of those pieces that I bought from like Depop and Poshmark. I mean, I didn't have like a ton of money at that time, so when I did buy something, I loved it. I have basically all of those pieces that I bought back then, and I feel like that really says something about me, that I was so in tune with what I liked, and it like blows my mind that I was like that before I ever thought about like what is personal style, what is like being eco-friendly, not like buying all this fast fashion. Like, I didn't even think about those things. It was just kind of, I was doing it. And that's not to say I wasn't buying into like trends. I had like leather pants and a shacket, but it was in 2018 I was wearing these items. They're pieces I still have in my wardrobe right now, not getting them when they were at like the peak of the boom, and it's just because I was seeing it everywhere. I saw those items once on probably some fashion influencer who was way ahead of her time, loved it on her, went and bought it. I didn't need to see it 100 times to know that I wanted those pieces. I just think it says so much that I still have those pieces. And I've gone through so many clothes way more recently that I am already sick of or don't have. Next would be the rise and my downfall. I literally wrote this bullet point as too much hype. And that's when I started getting a following on YouTube. I would say right at the beginning of my following, people were confused why I was doing like this fashion route. But I think I always had liked fashion. It was just kind of like where I lived and the people around me. It just felt uncomfortable and I wasn't that confident to be doing it. My bedroom makeover was my first video to ever like go viral, and that's what started my YouTube channel. And right after that video like hit, I decided to post an outfits video. And after that, I was getting so many requests for outfits videos that it kind of like built this ego in my head. I was like, oh, I know how to dress. People want to see me come up with outfits. And I liked making those videos. I liked coming up with outfits. I wasn't ready to be a vlogger or something like that because it just really didn't feel like me. I needed to find something that I could do on YouTube and that I keep wanting to do, and it turned into fashion. So at the beginning of YouTube, I only had my few items to work with, so my outfit inspo was very true to me. It was very my personal style and people seemed to like it. But then I got my first ever Princess Polly deal. It's so different to shop online and it's not really your money. My first Princess Polly deal, I did not get paid to do it. They just sent me clothes. But still, it was insane. I remember getting that email and like crying and thinking, why does this company want to send me clothes and show in a video? I couldn't understand it. I was sitting at the kitchen table picking out clothes with my mom because it was just so cool and she was really excited as well. And we were like picking things that I wouldn't normally wear, and that's what we were thinking. We were like, well, it's like free, like let's kind of like branch out. What would you normally not get? And I think that's what my mentality was for a lot of brand deals after that. And obviously I was doing way more brand deals, getting way more clothes than before YouTube. I was never getting clothes before YouTube. So I had this cycle of clothes that weren't really my personal style because I was like, oh, well, it's free, I should branch out. And I'd be sitting on these websites knowing good and well that if this wasn't a brand deal, I would never get this piece. Not because I didn't like the piece, but because I just couldn't imagine myself wearing it outside of a video. I started thinking like, oh, well, like how would this item shoot? How would this item look up against this backdrop, when I'm posed like this? I wasn't thinking, where would I be wearing this? Everything revolved around how would it look in my videos. And this really made me start to question why I couldn't dress well in my day-to-day life. And it started these videos where I would do dressing out of my comfort zone for a week. And it was clothes that I would show in my videos all the time, so you guys would, why is she showing these outfits out of her comfort zone? She shows these in all of her outfit inspos. But I would go out in these outfits and I'd be so uncomfortable. I didn't want to go out, I didn't want to like walk around, I didn't feel like myself, but they were clothes I picked out, some of them that I paid for. They didn't feel like me. I had this crazy hype of loving that I could predict what people would be wearing in the upcoming months. It's not like a talent. It was just being aware of my surroundings. I would see what was on social media. I would look at Vogue catalogs. I would look at like websites like Who What Wear. I would just do a ton of research to be the first one to say that these are going to be trending next month, or this is going to be trending in a few months. And then I would post those videos, I would hype myself up about these trends, and I would buy into them because I was like, well, I talked about them, I need to be the first one to show how to style them. And I would really make myself believe that I liked these trends, but I just liked the hype of being first. And that's so stupid. That's literally so stupid. This is all in quarantine when this was happening. I think I had so much time on my hands and I wasn't dressing day to day anymore that I started creating this reality in my head that when we were able to go out again, I'd be wearing these crazy outfits, and I just didn't wear them before because I was naive and I didn't have a good sense of style. But now, like after doing all this research, which is literally like Pinterest and stuff, I would be dressed so good now and so out there, but I would feel so good in it because it would just be, it's who I was now. That's how I wanted to dress. I think this taught me that it's okay to have a comfort zone, and you have one for a reason. Staying in your comfort zone with clothes is how you create that confidence. If I am going out in public, I really don't like wearing super revealing things, especially like day to day. I would not go out in this. I think when I sit down in a video, I'll wear different pieces, but just because, again, they shoot different. If I were to go out in public like this, it's like, oh wow, she's so confident for wearing something so revealing. People probably don't think that because this really isn't that revealing. I will be so insecure and I won't feel my best. I won't act like myself. I won't even really look my best in my opinion. But if I go out in a big baggy t-shirt and trousers, I'm gonna act way more confident. I'll be myself. I won't be fiddling with my clothes. That's my personal style because it makes me act like me. If I'm wearing something that makes me feel like somebody else, how can that be personal? I think after finally drowning in clothes that didn't even feel like mine, I was able to realize that junior and senior year of college Lainey was the most Lainey will ever get. My clothes won't always be the trendiest. I definitely like more simple things, even if that's not fun. I feel like I learned this from my mom. She would always say, like, you're so young, you can wear it, or like, it's homecoming, you can wear it, you're never gonna be able to wear this again. And my first year homecoming dress, I wore this really simple cream, like strapless A-line dress. Like, so boring, but I still look at that and I'm like, that was cute. I felt so cute in it. But all the girls came in these super like extravagant, just like colorful dresses that were more youthful, quite honestly, and it seemed like it was more of the right thing to do. So my sophomore year, I bought one of the like tutu dresses that were so trendy, and I hated it. I hated the dress the whole time. I didn't feel confident. It still looked cute. I look back and I think it's cute, but I hated that dress for so long. And then junior year didn't get to go to homecoming because I crashed my car. But then senior year homecoming, I went back to something that was a lot more my style. Everybody was wearing like bodycon tight dresses, and I knew I just would not feel comfortable in that. I wore a high neck, like navy blue printed cutout dress, and I still have that dress to this day. I trade that dress around because it's so cute and timeless to my style. My little cousin's wearing that dress to homecoming like next week, and that dress was another big like epiphany moment in my fashion journey. Ew, I hate that word. I've realized that I like baggy clothes. That's what I feel the most confident in, and it's what I can feel the most beautiful in. I still love to try out new trends, but I have a better feel now of what's gonna stick in my closet and what's not. I still love to talk about new trends, but I don't feel the need to hop on every single one. And even if I love a trend, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm gonna wear it out in my day-to-day life. I don't do much day-to-day, so I really don't have that many reasons to be dressing like these trends make it seem like we all do. Trends are still a great thing. It can make you try out pieces or styles that you would never think of, and it's just important to be picking and choosing trends that you think will actually resonate with you, or maybe has like a deeper feeling than just I saw it on Kendall Jenner and she looked pretty and I want to look pretty. And that's my style evolution. I think my biggest tips is to look back at a time when you think you were most unapologetically yourself. Think of any of those turning points. Maybe it was a pair of sneakers you had when you were little, or a t-shirt that you used to wear the crap out of. What was it about those pieces that made you love them so much? If you want more tips on just finding your personal style, I have a full video that I can link up here for you guys. I think that's it. I hope this video helps someone. It was just kind of fun to talk about all the different eras of Lainey. And it was really cringy looking through all these photos. Always listen to your mom. They know how to dress. They've been there, done that, just like Pitbull and Mr. 305. Well, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in a few days. Bye.